So when it comes to training this week, you had the 3 points, of course, from last weekend. Has that added a little extra bounce?
Well, it gives us a lift because, you know, it was a much needed win in the sense that the record recently has not been good over a length of time now. So winning always, you know, makes things a lot easier. So hopefully the players take the confidence from it, train fine this week. But we need to really step on now and try and build some momentum if we can.
Yeah, that is the key word, isn't it? We spoke about it last week. All well and good to get a win in isolation, but you really need to get the ball rolling. Yeah,
I feel Saturday's an important match for many reasons. Psychologically, it's an important match for us because to get back-to-back wins, to get a home win is important going into the last 12 games of the season. So that's how we're looking at it. That's what we spoke about on Monday morning in the meeting, about it's important that we get some consistency in our results if we can, and even to the point where it's not so much about the performance, it's more about getting the wins, and you would like to think the wins will bring the level of performance up. But there was good things that happened on, you know, clean sheet against Oxford, very, very solid. Bit of decision making in the last third at times, as I spoke about after the game, but I would like to think with the quality we've got that won't be a consistent theme. So many positives, and now we need to make sure that, you know, we play in the front foot and get a performance and most importantly a result on Saturday.
Is there a sense where the season starts here? Is it helpful to almost draw a line under everything that's gone on before and say, look, this is where we're at, we've got this opportunity, let's kick on?
Yeah, look, there's nothing we can do about the past results, they've gone. All we can focus on is now Saturday and the games coming up. We've had good rests in between games, it's been Saturday. March is a very, very busy and for me a very important month, so to finish the month off with a home win would be good. It's not going to be easy, but certainly we'll look at it's an opportunity now for us to perhaps come out of our bad run and now kick on and go on to a good run, because as I've said many times, there'll be twists and turns towards the end of the season. You know, there's teams that are having a bad run as well themselves, so it's important that we capitalise on that, but it's all about us and we've got to make sure that we start winning games.
Yeah, typically you've said in the past seasons where you've gone on to achieve good things, March is a time where you really want to get that momentum because you have the games and also where it fits in just ahead of the final run-in, if you like.
Yeah, there's always 7 or 8 games in March. I'm not too sure how many it is this month, but it certainly sets you up for the last 4 or 5 games in April and the last one in May, so it is an important month, there's no question. But you know, I think the players have been good in terms of the way they've gone about it. You could see it gave them a lift after the game on Saturday, that win. You know, because players are like human beings like anyone else, they need that confidence, and we've tried to really keep them together as a squad because it's going to be about all of them, and they understand the opportunity that we still have for the season, and it's important that, you know, we can try and get that.
What do you make of Shrewsbury as a side, Sam Ricketts having come in, and it seems as though he hasn't quite found the formula that he really wants as yet?
Yeah, he's come in, did a very good job in his last club at Wrexham, you know, and he's come in to play a particular way that we've watched and studied their games. I watched a couple of their games, the one at Bristol. I thought they played very, very well in the first half. So they've, as every team has strengths that they've got, they brought a couple of loans in that have done well, Boy Campbell, and like I said, they play a particular way. It's difficult to play against if you don't do certain things right. We've done a lot of work this week on it, so hopefully, you know, the players take it and put it into a performance on Saturday. So there's no easy games regardless of where teams are, and in many ways the ones that you're playing against coming up, the teams that are, you know, like Shrewsbury, they're fighting for their life, so they've got a lot of motivation, as we do, so there's no easy games. We've got to focus on our performance and keep taking things out of games, but most importantly keep winning games.
Yeah, one way or another it's always a challenge. Let's talk about the team news. Josh Knight having picked up an injury last weekend, how's he been getting on?
He went back for a scan, so he'll be out for a period of time. He's got some ligament damage. Lafferty's, we'll see how he is tomorrow. I would have to say at the moment that he's probably 50-50. And I think that's it really from last week.
Yeah, Callum Cook better again and
fine.
Managed not to spread his virus to anyone else.
No, touch wood. And we kept him away. He'd been away anyway, but when he came in last Friday morning, we just sent him home because clearly he wasn't going to be ready. But he trained Monday and he's trained well all week. Yeah,
disappointing of course from a club perspective to lose Josh, but particularly as a young lad making his way in the game, you get your debut and miss out after 20 minutes or so and get a fairly serious injury is tough.
It's part of the game unfortunately, but we seem to be picking up one or two injuries that, not freak, but very unfortunate in the sense that he picked his up after about 4 minutes. It's just a block tackle. He carried on with it, but clearly he couldn't twist and turn, and after 20 minutes, and the lad had done fine, it was his debut and he'd done fine, and he's a good player, but unfortunately he's going to be out for a period of time. I'm not too sure how long, but certainly you're looking at least 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, I guess one positive from last weekend, Ryan Tafazoli coming on earlier than he would have expected and really doing everything you could have asked from him.
Yeah, Ryan's a good player, and the decision to put Josh and Ben was explained to the two centre-halves that didn't start. But Taff came on and did very, very well. Defended well, took the ball well, carried it out, built the play up from the back at times when he could. And really, if he maintains those standards, then no one can have any complaints because it was a good performance.
And I suppose at left back you've got Tyler Denton returning after suspension, and inevitably he'll be keen to, I guess, prove a point given what went on at Doncaster if he gets the chance.
Yeah, young Tyler's there, and I felt his performance against Doncaster was fine. Obviously, listen, we're very unfortunate that he gets a red card, but up until then he dealt with the winger who can be a handful very well. Just the once he did him really, and he didn't let anyone down in that sense. He was very unfortunate to get the first booking and a little bit naive for the second one. So, but I've got two good left backs there.
Just tell us a little bit about Alex Woodyard, because since you've been at the club he's put in a series of really good performances at the base of the midfield diamond. I think we saw at Oxford on Saturday some of the challenges he was making, his ability to get around the field. Presumably that's really handy when it comes to playing in that way, that you've got such a reliable player you can use.
Yeah, when you play a certain way and you've got a sitter as a forward, you have different types. Woodyard's a different type to say a Grant McCann, who McCann was all about dictating the play, and I'm not saying Woody can't do that, but his strengths were on the ball. But Woody is good enough on the ball to play in there, and also gives you a real good defensive sort of protection. I mean, I thought on Saturday he was excellent. I thought he really was. He protected the centre halves, he won tackles, won the second balls, and at this level that's a huge part of the game. So you can just get different types of ones that do it. He knows where he needs to improve, and we'll keep working on him to do that. But he's a good pro, and he's been excellent since I've come in. He really has.
Yeah, and another week onwards for Lee Tomlin and getting towards match fitness. How far is he off now being where you want him to be?
Well, he came on for half an hour on Saturday, and I thought he had a positive impact in the game. Obviously, we've got a bit of work into him in the 2 weeks that he'd missed. So I've got decisions. After every game that comes, I'll have difficult decisions to make with the attacking players I've got. Ivan Toney at the moment is doing very, very well. I've had Coops come in, who's done fine. Tomlin, Maddison, Matty Godden, who I really like as a player. Got good options. So I don't think I'm going to have any easy decisions to make, regardless of how players do. So, but it's a good thing for a manager to have that.